markets are closed, but the business stories are just heating up. Hello, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Catch up with us on Business Brief. We begin with breaking news. We're finally hearing from the man everyone's looking for. Former Congressman Zaldy Co breaking his silence today on the flood control scandal. In a video message posted on social media, Co alleges it was President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. who ordered the 100 billion peso insertion in the 2025 national budget.
Tinawagan ko po agad si Usec at tinanong ko kung may instruction nga ba ang Pangulo na magpasok ng 100 billion during their meeting. Ang sabi niya ay totoo nga po. Right after our conversation, tinawagan ko po si dating Speaker Martin Romualdez at nireport ko ang instructions ng Presidente to insert the 100 billion projects. At sinabi niya sa akin, what the President wants, he gets.
Plus says the Marcos administration is using him as a scapegoat for their lies. He also claims after leaving the country in July for a medical checkup, House Speaker Martin Romualdez told him not to return to the Philippines as he will be, quote, taken care of as instructed by the President.
Noon naniniwala pa ako sa kanila, kaya't hindi ako bumalik. Ginawa nila akong poster boy ng kanilang sariling kasinungalingan. Ngayon, hindi na ako mananahimik, ilalabas ko ang lahat ng katotohanan. May resibo, may ebidensya, at may pangalan.
The former congressman's location is still unknown. Co was supposed to come back to the country after the president's SONA. He said his life could be in danger after this expose. Co previously chaired the House Committee on Appropriations.
Sana po ay hindi nila ako mapatay bago ko mailabas ang lahat.
The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or PCCI, remains cautious over the allegations made by Zaldy Co against several lawmakers, including the president himself. PCCI President George Barcelon says the chamber is unsure whether the content of the video is genuine. He adds that they will wait for proper verification before making any statement. Brian Ang, Vice President for Trade at the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, says the recent stock market drop shows that even unconfirmed corruption scandals shake investor confidence. He adds that a swift resolution is crucial to restore trust. Ang urges Zaldy Co to face the Blue Ribbon Committee in person instead of relying on one-way pre-recorded statements. Senator Cheese Escudero allegedly pocketed 20% in kickbacks from DPWH projects worth 1.4 billion pesos. This, according to former Public Works Usec Bernardo. Bernardo appeared at the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing on Friday, saying the senator facilitated the funding for the contracts and was given a commitment fee. He reiterated Escudero collected the bribe money from former Special Envoy to China, Maynard Nune. Escudero previously denied claims about his links to the budget insertions in the 2025 spending program, amounting to 142.7 billion pesos. More bombshells from former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo in his Senate testimony. He claimed Bilyonaryo Senator Mark Villar allegedly swiped half of the 10% in kickbacks when he was Secretary of the DPWH. Bernardo said Villar's cousin, Carlos Aguilar of I&E Construction, acted as his intermediary. Villar and Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral picked projects in the National Expenditure Program. The commission, Bernardo said, was split 50% to Aguilar, 25% to Cabral, and 25% to himself. Payoffs included roads like EDSA and waterway maintenance. Villar, the richest of the current 24 senators declared a 1.26 billion peso net worth last December. Senator Gatchalian urges Zaldy Co to return home and address allegations against him following his video statement linking President Bongbong Marcos to the flood control scandal. Hannah T reports to us live from the Senate. Hi, Hannah. Go ahead.
My Senate Finance Committee Chair Gatchalian is calling out Zaldy Co for releasing a video while remaining abroad instead of facing the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee in person. Gatchalian says the only way to vindicate himself is through physical appearance, not through a recorded message with uncertain legality and unverified content. Co surfaced in a video statement this afternoon saying it's President Bongbong Marcos who ordered him not to return to the country, and alleged that the president himself ordered hundreds of billions worth of insertions in the BICAM for 2025. For Gatchalian, the video raises more questions than answers, including where it was recorded, whether it was made legally, and whether Co was under any form of official oversight. He says that if Co truly has nothing to hide, he should present himself before the Senate and answer questions directly, not from an undisclosed location abroad. Gatchalian, as Finance Committee Chair, also plans to review the budget to verify alleged insertions and movements of funds, especially in light of the President's earlier veto of nearly 160 billion in proposed projects. The Senator also stressed he will not allow Co to attend the hearings via Zoom, saying online appearances provide no accountability and make it easy to evade scrutiny. Gatchalian confirmed that a subpoena may be issued, but only if a next hearing is approved, as there are ongoing discussions among senators on whether today's hearing should be the last. If the inquiry continues, Co could face a progression of actions, subpoena, show cause order, and possible contempt. Mai Gatchalian warned that some parties may be using the current controversy for personal or political gain, adding that the chaos surrounding the probe on the flood control scandal has opened opportunities for misinformation and manipulation. Mai?
Hannah, does he have a reaction that his Senate colleagues were implicated in this corruption scandal?
Mai, on the explosive affidavit of former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo earlier, which tagged multiple senators in alleged kickback operations, Gatchalian says the accusations are serious, but he notes that Bernardo's physical presence before the Blue Ribbon Committee shows a level of good faith as he subjects himself to questioning. And when asked about the possibility of those senators, including Poe and former Senator Revilla, being summoned before the Blue Ribbon probe, Gatchalian said this will be studied carefully and if there's also a need for another hearing. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you for that report, Hannah T, live from the Senate. We're taking a short break. More stories are coming up next. You're watching Business Brief. Asian shares join a global sell-off on the final trading day of the week. Hawkish comments from Federal Reserve officials cool expectations of a U.S. rate cut next month. A crowded economic data calendar is adding pressure on bonds, the dollar, and gold. All Asian markets are in the red, with South Korea's Kospi falling the most at over 3%. In the currency market, the U.S. dollar falls against the South Korean won and Singapore dollar and remains flat against the Japanese yen, the Hong Kong dollar, and the Thai baht. The Australian dollar, meanwhile, rises against the greenback. In commodities, gold edges up by less than 0.1%, while oil prices rise. In cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin drops 0.6%, while Ethereum gains nearly 0.4%. Senator Jinggoy Estrada, former Senator Grace Poe, and resigned Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan are reportedly among those who received hefty payoffs from anomalous DPWH infrastructure projects. Former Public Works Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo told the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee that he facilitated the transactions and personally delivered kickbacks for Senator Francis Escudero and former Senators Nancy Binay and Bong Revilla Jr., totaling hundreds of millions of pesos. Reading from a prepared affidavit, Bernardo said a private contractor called Mrs. Patron collected 20% in bribe money for Senator Poe. He also says Estrada, previously indicted over the 10 billion peso pork barrel scam, allegedly received up to 25% from nearly 2 billion pesos in DPWH projects. Senator Grace Poe has released a statement Friday afternoon in response to the recent allegations making headlines in the Philippines. She expressed sadness over the reports and urged the Justice Department to investigate the claims. Poe emphasized her support for ongoing investigations, noting she was the first to attend the ICI proceedings. Addressing the mention of her own name, she stressed that she has never been involved in corruption. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry hopes the government continues to ease taxes for the private sector with a new BIR commissioner in place. In an interview with Bilyonaryo News Channel's Business 360, PCCI Chair George Barcelon commended the BIR's previous efforts in initiating dialogues with businesses. He also said the sudden leadership change with former Finance Undersecretary Charlito Mendoza taking over from Romeo Lomagi Jr. was unexpected.
PCCI is one of the leading group that has a monthly meeting with some of the key BIR deputy commissioner and sometimes even the commissioner join us. So I hope that will still continue with the new chairman of BIR. The businessman, generally speaking, has been reeling to the fact that, as I said, there's a softness in the market. And we're looking forward to the next 2 months, no? This month and December being Christmas months.
The Department of Finance has signed a major agreement to improve oversight of government-owned or controlled corporations, or GOCCs. The tripartite Memorandum of Agreement, signed November 12, sets standardized data sharing protocols with the Governance Commission for GOCCs and the Budget Department. All GOCCs will submit board-approved business plans using uniform templates feeding into the enhanced integrated corporate reporting system. This will help agencies track performance, identify risks, and improve public services. Finance Secretary Ralph Recto says the move strengthens accountability and aligns with the President's goal of an efficient, transparent government. The Philippines is deepening tourism ties with Saudi Arabia, bringing more flights, more spending, and closer access to one of the world's fastest-growing outbound markets. Tourism officials met Saudi aviation leaders to expand air routes and promote joint tourism initiatives. New direct flights in 2025 will link Riyadh to Cagayan de Oro and Zamboanga. Saudi tourism to the Philippines hit $37.86 million in 2024, a 46% jump from 2023. Top destinations include Cebu, Boracay, Pampanga, Palawan, and Cavite. Halal-friendly hotels, dining and airline meals, plus initiatives like Marhaba Boracay are making the Philippines an emerging Muslim-friendly destination. The Environment Department has identified 3 violations at the luxury residential project The Rise at Monterrazas in Cebu City. Officials say the retention pond is too small to handle heavy rainfall. Only 11 of more than 700 trees remain, and the project lacks a required discharge permit under the Clean Water Act. The pond and 15 additional rainwater structures fall short of the 18,500 cubic meters needed to prevent runoff. 10 of 33 environmental compliance certificates were also breached. The DENR warns these 3 violations could lead to administrative or criminal charges. Investigators are reviewing other projects in Cebu after the severe flooding caused by Typhoon Tino. Charon Pokpan Foods Philippines, the local arm of Thailand's Charion Pokpan Group, one of Asia's largest agri-food conglomerates, is rolling out a $1 billion 5-year expansion plan to boost hog production nationwide. The Agriculture Department says the investment could help restore the country's swine population to pre-African swine fever levels by 2028. TPF plans to increase output from 1.3 million to 7 million heads by 2030, with most of the growth expected in Luzon. The company is studying 9 agro-industrial complexes, each costing about $125 million, with feed mills capable of producing 10,000 metric tons a month. Philippine stocks take a bloodbath amid Zaldy Co's allegations linking President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to a corruption mess. The PCCI drops more than 2% to 55.84. All sectoral indices close in the red, with mining and oil losing over 5%. Decliners outnumber advancers 133 to 64, with value turnover at 6.3 billion pesos. Among the day's most active stocks, only Maynilad ended in the green, while DigiPlus plunged more than 8%. On currencies, the peso trades stronger at 58.92 against the US dollar, up from 59 flat. Wilcon Depot Incorporated posts a 9-month net income of 1.866 billion pesos. In its disclosure, President and CEO Lorraine Belosingco-Chan said the figure is lower than the same period last year, but the company remains optimistic about reversing its earnings decline for 2025. She noted that home improvement spending showed signs of recovery as early as May, though momentum was intermittently disrupted by natural calamities. Despite typhoons, flooding, and even earthquakes in the third quarter, demand continued to trend upward, and the company hopes to fully turn around its first-half results by year-end. Philinvest Development Corporation reports a net income of 11.5 billion pesos for the first 9 months of 2025. The company says this is up from 9.5 billion pesos during the same period last year. Philinvest attributed the strong performance to all business segments, including banking, real estate, power, hospitality, and sugar. The company added that broad-based double-digit gains reflected resilient operations and a positive market outlook. That's a wrap for today's Business Brief. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Join us again next week as we bring you the stories that help you plan your next big, bold moves in business, only here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.